Welcome back everyone again. I hope you've had another fantastic week. What are we up to this week? We are up to Daniel chapter 4. Now I wonder what that one might be about. To give you a clue, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Have you ever had a dream before that you remember? Have you ever had a really weird, wacky dream that just doesn't make any sense? Or have you had a really nice dream that you're like, oh, I just never want to wake up from this? Or have you ever had a dream that's left you a bit scared and afraid? They're not so nice. In today's story, we're looking at another dream that King Nebuchadnezzar had. And he knew it was a very special dream and it disturbed him once more. And he wanted to know what the message was. So, what was the dream? Well, I'm going to tell you. In today's story, King Nebuchadnezzar is actually writing a letter to everyone proclaiming how great and wonderful God is. And this is how he knew that. One night, when he was sleeping, he had a dream. And in his dream, he saw a tree. I've got some props to help me. Now this tree grew magnificent and big right in the centre of the whole world. It grew bigger and bigger. It was so big and so great that it reached the skies. Right to the top of the sky, such a magnificent tree. It was so magnificent that all the creepy crawly animals and insects and bugs all came and sheltered under the tree. The birds came and nested in its branches and fed on its fruit. And it had fruit of every kind, and all the world came and nestled under that tree, and that tree provided for all the world. But then King Nebuchadnezzar heard a noise from heaven, and a noise from heaven said, chop down that tree. And so an angel came and chopped down the tree. And all that was left was a little stump in the ground with its roots. And the voice from heaven told the angel to bind the tree with some chains, and it was bound with chains, and a dew came and rested on it from the earth for 7 years. Now that was a pretty unusual dream, wasn't it? Have you ever dreamt of a tree before? Well, King Nebuchadnezzar knew in his heart of hearts that this dream had a meaning, but he couldn't figure out what it was. So he called all his magicians, his wise men, his enchanters, and he told them this time what the dream was and asked them to interpret it. But none of them could interpret it. That is, until our man Dan came along. So there was Daniel standing before the king, and the king said, "Do you know what my dream means?" And Daniel said yes, because he had the Spirit of God in him. And Daniel interpreted his dream.
I went to the king to interpret his dream with the power of the Holy Spirit. When I got the meaning of the dream, I was terrified. I didn't want to tell the meaning to the king. But the king encouraged me, don't let the meaning of the dream alarm you. So I told him the meaning of the dream.
You, O king, are the tree. You have become great and strong. Your greatness has grown until it reaches the sky. You saw the tree get chopped down. All that was left was the roots and a stump. This is what that means. You will be driven away from your people and will live with the wild animals. You will eat grass like an ox, and the dew from heaven will wet you. You will be like this for 7 years, until you realize that God reigns over the whole earth and gives it to anyone he chooses.
And this is what happened. 1 year later, King Nebuchadnezzar was walking on the roof of his royal palace. He looked out and he said, "Look at all I have made for myself by my mighty power and my mighty strength. I'm so great." Then a voice came from heaven. "Your royal authority has been taken from you." King Nebuchadnezzar was driven from his people, and he ate grass like a wild ox. His body was drenched with dew, and his hair and nails grew wild. He was like this for 7 whole years, until one day his right mind came back to him, and he praised God, saying that God was the great King of all, and that God has all power. At that very moment, King Nebuchadnezzar had his kingdom given back to him. And he started writing to everyone everywhere just how great and mighty God is.